Okay, class, picking up where we left off at. We have G. It says, how many women who are not African American disagree with the statement? We need to look back at our Venn diagram. First of all, we have all African Americans here. We have all men here. And we have all others that agree. Now let's look at this. If this is all African American, this is all men that were surveyed. The African American men is this group here. So this group here has to be the African American women. And then, of course, this comprises of all the men and all those who agree. Now, the question is, how many women who are not African American disagree with this statement? Now, since this is all men, that means everybody out here has to be women. And since this is all the people that agree, this will have to be all the people that disagree. And also, since this is all African Americans, this will have to be women who disagree that are not African American. So your answer here is 8. Now, we scroll down here, and it states, the previous example illustrated the importance of the wording in given information or a question. If the statement doesn't give you the information about a particular set, you cannot assume you are in the set or out of the set. There simply isn't enough information. Saying you are in set A or B is not the same thing as saying you are in set A or B, but not C. Look back at 2.4 Venn diagram. Now, let's scroll down here. This is 2.4 diagram. It says saying A or B would be regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The statement said nothing about whether we were in C or not in C, or whether we were in C or not in C. So we have to include regions that are in C and not in C. Saying A or B but not C would be regions 1, 2, 3. Including the condition we could not be in C restricted our regions and gave us more information about where we were than without the information. Okay, now we are going to apply this with this next example. It says, in a survey on musical taste, people were asked, do you listen to classical music? Do you listen to jazz? The survey results are summarized in the Venn diagram. Now we want to label these here. We want to label this A, label this B. So now what we have is the universe A and B. It says, use the diagram to answer the following questions. How many people listen to classical music? Now this is classical music. All the people that listen to classical music is 75. Because it'll be 55 plus this 20. It says how many people listen to jazz? It'll be 70 plus 20, which is 90. Now, how many people listen to both classical music and jazz? That would be 20. Now we scroll down here. It says how many people listen to classical music or jazz? Now, when they say classical music or jazz, that basically is all of these values added together but not counted twice. So it'd be 55 plus 20 plus 70, which would be 145. It says how many people listen to classical music but not jazz? Classical music but not jazz is 55 because there's no intersection. Now it says how many respondents listen to jazz but not classical music. So now they ask us, the respondents, we want to see how many listen to jazz but not classical music, and that is 70. Now we go here to G. How many respondents listen to neither classical music nor jazz? That means that it's not in either one of these, and that would be 30. Now finally, how many people were surveyed? Now what we would do is we would add all these numbers together, 55 and 20, 75 plus 70 is 145 plus 30 is 175. And that that is our final answer. Now we move on to the next page. It says example, use the Venn diagram to answer the questions. Remember, in the Venn diagrams in this section, the numbers within each region represent the number of elements in the region, not the actual elements themselves, i.e. 7 means 7 cars, 7 states, 7 houses, etc. So now we go down here to our questions. We have how many elements belong to set A? Okay, we go here to set A. All of these elements belong to set A. So we have 10, we have 18. It says how many elements belong to set A and set B. So we will count all of these elements that are in A and B. So it says set A and set B. So it'll be 3 and 5, which is 8. Now how many elements belong to set A or set C? So this is where we will count set A and all of set C. So that will give us 10, 18, 22. This will give us 34. We'll count all the elements that touch A or C. It says how many elements belong to set A and set B, but not to set C. So set A and B without C is 3. Now, we need to go back up here to E. It says how many elements belong to set A and set B and set C. So that's where all 3 of them intersect, and that's at 5. So your final answer here is 5. Now, we scroll down here. It says a group of middle school students was asked to volunteer at an event for 5th grade students. Set A represents the students who agreed to lead tours. Set B represents the students willing to work game booths. The results of the survey are summarized in the Venn diagram below. So this is the results of the survey. Now it says how many students are willing to lead tours. Now remember, set A, the students say they're willing to lead tours. So if we count up all of the ones that are in set A, that'll be 32. How many students are willing to work game booths? So that'll be B. 10 plus 28 is 38. Now it says how many students are willing to lead tours and work game booths. This is where set A and B intersect, so that would be 10. Now we move on to D. It says how many students are willing to lead tours or work game booths, or both. Okay, so that means that we would add up all of these values here. So if we add up all of these values, that will give us 60. Now, it says how many students are willing to lead tours but not work game booths. So that would be only in set A, which is 22. How many students do not want to do either task? That will be out here in the universe. So that would be 4 in the universal set. 44. It says here for G, how many students were surveyed? So what you would do is this here. You would add up all of these values. You have 22, 10, 28, which we know is 60, plus 44. So that will give us 104. Now, we scroll down. It says here in our next example that, now let's take the results of a survey and create a Venn diagram with which we can answer other questions. A survey of 120 college students was taken at registration. Of those surveyed, 75 students registered for a math class, 64 for an English class, and 40 for both math and English. Of those surveyed, we want to answer these questions here. So now we want to create our Venn diagram. We know we have our universal set. We have our set M, which is math, E, which is English, and also we need to put in the numbers here. Now we're told here that 75 students registered for a math class or course, 65 for an English course, and 40 for both math and English. So we would start with the 40 for both math and English. Now, since there's a total of 75 students that registered for math, that means that the MSET would be 35. So it'd be 35 plus 40 is 75. And we're told that 65 registered for an English class. So since this is 40, this would be 25. So 40 and 25 is 65. Now if we add all these values up together, this will only give us 100. So that means that there were actually 20 students that didn't take math or English. So now it says how many register only for a math course. Now it said only for a math course, so that would be 35 because it doesn't include math and English. It says how many register only for an English course. We know that would be 25. It says how many register for a math course or an English course. We would add all of these together, and this would give us 100. It says how many did not register for either a math course or an English course. And we know that's the universal set, which is 20. Okay, now we scroll down to the next example. We have here, that wasn't so bad. I hope you see now that you must create a Venn diagram before you have any hope of answering the question. Let's do a survey problem with 3 sets. Oh, scary. A survey of 180 college men was taken to determine participation in various campus activities. 43 students were in fraternities, 52 participated in campus sports, and 35 participated in various campus tutorial programs. 13 participated in fraternities and sports, 14 in sports and tutorial programs, 12 in fraternities and tutorial programs. 5 students participated in all 3. So what we should do here, we should get ready to draw us a Venn diagram, and we will do that in the next video.